Hi, my name is Mr. Exum and welcome to my EdTech channel where I show you how to get the most out of technology in the classroom. Now this video is all about how to set up and use class notebooks from within Teams. Now if you have Teams in your school, then you really should be looking at using the notebooks with your classes to share resources, create tasks and provide feedback. Let's get started. With every one of your classes on Teams, you also have something called the class notebook, which is a OneNote notebook attached to that particular class. Now, this class notebook can be used for all sorts of things, and you can use it at various sort of levels. So, to get to the class notebook, all you got to do is go into the relevant team. So here I am, and you can see that straight away I've got a button that says Set Up Class Notebook. Okay, I'll also find it on the left-hand menu here, or potentially at the top menu, depending on what view you're viewing Teams in. So I'm going to do Set Up Class Notebook, and it says Set Up a OneNote Class Notebook. So I'm going to click on that. I've got two options. Either I can just do a completely blank notebook from scratch, or if I've created a notebook in the past, or I've got pages from other notebooks that I made last year, or pages from notebooks from a current class at the moment, I can import all those when I begin my notebook. Okay, so in this case I'm going to do that. I'm just going to show you how it's possible to do that. This will come up with a message saying that you're going to get these 4 areas. Okay, all class notebooks have these areas. A collaboration space. Now the collaboration space is an area where you can create pages that everybody can edit, teachers and students. The content library is an area that you can edit. You can create pages that the students can view, copy those pages, but they are read-only pages. They have to copy their own versions out of there. Teacher-only section is an area for you to work in. This is where you create your pages before you start putting them into the areas where the students can access them. And each student has their own notebook as well, which you will see all of the student notebooks. They will only see their own notebook. And you can then distribute pages directly to each of the individual student notebooks as you want to. So I'm going to click Next. Okay. And now I can add some content. Because I clicked on that option initially that I wanted to import some content, I'm going to put some content into my teacher only area from a notebook that I've been using last year for my third form. So it'll bring up all my third form notebooks, and I can go in there and I can select any relevant pages that I'm going to want to use again this year. So I'm going to put in the work I did on plants, for example, and the one on enzymes. So I'm going to do those topics again this year. So those are going to go into my teacher only area. I could put them straight into the content library for the pupils to access, but for now what I like to do is keep everything in my teacher only section and then put them into the areas where students can get them when I want them to have access. Click Next. Now I can create these kind of sections within each of the student notebooks. Now these are I like to think about these in the same way as sort of file dividers. If you think about the fact that the student notebook is like a file full of work, what kind of dividers would you want in there? Now you could arrange the work in these sort of categories. I don't really like those because the way that I work in biology is with topics. So I know what topics are going to be doing this year already, so I'm going to add those sections straight away. I can add further sections later as well, but I can set up all of the structure of their notebook for this year straight away here. I'm just going to add those 2 for now. And then it will create my class notebook. Now, it can take a little bit of time depending on how many pupils are in the class and also how many sections you're importing that you set up, but it will be done in a minute or 2 and you'll get this message. And now I'm in my notebook. Whenever I want to access it, I can access it through the Teams and through the Class Notebook tab here. And I've got some options across the top. Okay, and I've got a sort of slightly hidden menu system down the side here called Navigation. So when I click on that, that opens up the navigation bar here. Now you can work straight within Teams here. You can access OneNote also on your browser. Just by signing into office.com, you can always access OneNote. A class notebook is saved in the cloud, so you never have to save it. Any changes that are done by you or the pupils are constantly being saved, so you never have to click save. It's always updating. Now, you can use it in here, like I said, but I like to use the Windows 10 app for OneNote. It's got some better functionality. So what I tend to do is once I've created my notebook, I click up here in the Open in Browser section and I go Open in Desktop App. And it should open it in the OneNote for Windows 10 app. There is another OneNote, confusingly, which is OneNote 365, which personally I don't like as much. The other option for opening this notebook is to go straight into the Windows 10 app. Okay, you can get that from your Start menu, OneNote for Windows 10. When you're in there, you can then click on the Show Navigation, and you can then click at the top on the notebook name. It will give you a list of your notebooks, and if there's one that you've created recently in Teams and you click More Notebooks, it will appear. So there is the one I have just created in Teams today, and therefore I can open that one. Now once you've opened it in the app itself, it will remember that one and you don't need to keep reopening it. But here we go, I can now work directly on that notebook in the app. Everything I'm doing will be syncing straight back to this Teams version as well, because remember, it's all stored on the cloud. So here I am in OneNote, okay? And down the navigation area you can see these sections: my collaboration space, my content library, my teacher only area with those sections that I'd already, with the content that's copied through already, that I asked it to from a previous OneNote class notebook that I created. And then we've got the students areas. Remember, they can only see their own area, the content library and the collaboration space, but I as the teacher can see all of them. So if you want to use OneNote in its most simple way, then what you can do is you can create sections in the content library. So to create a section, I just click down here at the bottom, Add Section, for let's say a particular topic, whatever you're working on. And then within a section, I can create as many pages as I want. Okay. So maybe we've got a page on plant cells, maybe we've got a page on plant transport, etc. And these pages are just like physical pieces of paper that would go in their file under that section. Now, I can create I can add content to these pages, which I'll do in a minute, and the pupils can then copy those pages into their own notes. Maybe I'm going to fill in this during the lesson, so when they leave the lesson, they still have access to all the work we've done in the lesson, which is nice. The other option, and the more advanced way of doing these things, is to create pages in your teacher-only area. So for example, here is a page just for the syllabus for this particular topic, and then to distribute pages to those pupils. And what happens then is they each get a copy of that page in their own notebooks. So if I go up to the Class Notebook tab up at the top, this is where I have the ability to distribute pages to all of the student areas, to distribute new sections to them, or to review student work, which I will show you shortly. But let's say as a starter, I want all of the students to have this page, the syllabus page, in their own OneNotes, in their plant section. And to do that, I click on the syllabus page, and I click Distribute Page, and then I click on the Distribute Page button. And it will come up on the side to say, where do you want to send a copy of this page to? And I've got the sections that I've created already for those students there. So I can say, well, I want all of the students to have a copy of this in their plant section. I click Distribute. It's basically like going to the photocopier now, taking a photocopy of each for each student and placing it in their file. So they each get their own copy, and they can do whatever they want with that copy. Okay, if they make edits to it, there it is. It's now appeared for them. They could scribble all over this, make changes to it. That's up to them. It's now their copy of it. It won't change the master copy, which I'm keeping here in my teacher only area. Look at all the different pages I've already created here. So this one was about leaf adaptations. I've put in a diagram for them to label, and they had to list the adaptations. That was some classwork we did. These are some worksheets from a workbook that I've copied in for them to complete. Here is some work we did on limiting factors. Maybe there is a page for practical work. Here's a practical sheet that they had to do during the practical lesson. So all of their work is created in pages here, and then what I do is distribute those to the relevant sections in their notebooks to complete. If you're setting it as an assignment in Teams, you can actually get Teams to do the distribution process for you as part of setting the assignment. and there is a Teams video that shows you how to do that. And that's a very helpful way of distributing pages that forces them to open it and complete it as part of their work. So let's go back a step. How do you actually add this kind of content to a OneNote page? Okay, so let's say I've got this page here, plant cells, a blank OneNote page. Now on OneNote, you have a sort of unlimited canvas. It's not fixed like a Word document, and that gives you a bit more flexibility. Obviously, I can just click anywhere and just type and add written text, and that becomes a text box that I can drag around. I can format that using the format options that are coming up at the top here, and create content, text content on the page very easily. If I want to insert things like pictures, again, I go to the Insert tab. I can pick pictures from my computer. I can actually just take a snapshot straight from the camera if my device has got a camera on it, so that then I can just take a picture of a worksheet or a text that I'm using that I want them to have within the page, or I can browse online and add pictures straight from the internet onto the page. So this is about plant cells. Maybe I want to find a nice diagram of a plant cell that I want them to label, and I'm going to add that in. There we go. I can resize the image, obviously, drag it around, and if I want to be able to, for them to be able to type over the top and write over the top, etc., it's quite good with images to right click on them and set them as background. This text box is now hovering there. I'm just going to delete that by pressing delete on the keyboard, and now that picture is completely set to the back. They can click and type anywhere, or use their stylus to draw straight on the top and write exactly what you want them to write. If I've got a document already saved on my computer, maybe a PDF that I want to add in here, I can either insert it as a file attachment, and it will just attach a little icon there, and if they double click on that, that will open it, a bit like it's attached to an email. That can be useful if it's a particularly large file, for example. Maybe you don't want it taking up the page, but what's probably more helpful is to choose the printout option. If you print out a PDF or even a Word document, so I could pick a Word document here, let's say this little quiz. If I choose that, it will convert it into a PDF and then print out that PDF onto the page. Okay, and this now just becomes an image. Okay, an image that I can set as the background that then they can type their answers onto or use their stylus to write on top of. Okay, and there is still the actual PDF document as an attachment as well. It does both, so that they can double click that and open that if they want to have it separately or print it off. I've got other things I can insert very easily. Lots of things embed directly into a OneNote page. So let's say I've got a YouTube video. So all I need to do is take the URL at the top, copy that, paste that straight into the OneNote page, and it will then put the YouTube video straight onto the page. I can drag it around, I can resize it, it gets rid of the adverts. You can also add in audio, which is quite nice. So this is very useful when you're providing feedback for pupils. You just click the audio button, it's already recording that audio right now. And then I can just click stop. It's very, very fast. Add a little audio sample in there, and then the students can play that. If you need to add instructions, or if you need to provide feedback on some work after they've done it, then you can add these little audio clips in, which is very nice. Okay, so I can build up pages really quickly and easily, adding images, adding videos, adding documents, creating spaces for them to fill in their own notes. Maybe this will just be a page full of resources that I don't really need them to interact with, or maybe it will be an actual page like this where there are things for them to do. And then once you're done, as I've already explained, that page can then be distributed to all the students to fill in. And again, to do that, go to the class notebook section and click distribute page. Okay, so let's say some students have completed some work. Now, if I've got 30 students in this group, I don't want to have to go into each student, click on plants, find the relevant page, and then go to the next student, click on there, find the relevant page, etc. to actually mark this work and go through it. What I can do is I can do this thing called review student work. So I'm going to just dive into a different notebook here to show you how this works. Okay, so to do this, I go to the class notebook tab and I click review student work, and then I'm going to choose that top option, and it will show me all the sections that all the students have. Okay, so I know they've done some work in class recently on respiration, which I want to check that they've done. I click on that section, and because I distributed the page to them and they've all got the same pages and they're all named correctly, I can pick that page and it will be able to pick it up for all the pupils in the class. And what I can do then is cycle through each pupil, okay, and I can see that person didn't do it, second person has done it. I can then go in there and give it some marks, okay, and I can also then, like I said, give it some audio feedback perhaps. And let's say I'm marking, the first two at a time, and then I want to go on and check the next student and mark their ones. I can do that and just go straight into each pupil. It's nice and quick, and a bit like flicking through pages and marking the same question all at the same time. To do that is very simple, okay? It will remember where I've marked to on each page, so I don't have to keep scrolling back up and down, and I can just go through each of them and mark how much work they've managed to get done in that lesson. It's also worth looking at the pen tools. Under the draw section, you've got a whole range of pens that you can use. You can add more favorite pens, and if you click on the little drop down, you can customize all the colors and thicknesses of these pens. It's very easy to flip between highlighters, pencils and pens, and obviously you've got the rubber there. You can also add shapes, and you've got a ruler and various maths functions as well. And one of the very important and useful tools, which a lot of people don't know about, is the adding extra space or removing extra space. Sometimes you've written something or done something on the page, but actually you think, oh no, I need to insert something above that, or move it out of the way. If you click on this little button here, it allows you to create a little bit of extra space above an area, or remove some space between the area. So, on this page, for example, actually I think I need to give a little bit more introduction at the top. I can shift everything down on here to create a little bit of extra space. That's a very useful button there. And of course, the undo and redo buttons are definitely worth knowing about. So I hope that provides a good overview of how you can create pages, how you can distribute pages, how you can mark work. If you want to use it on a very basic level, you can just create pages in the content library. You can add some files onto the pages, you can add some video clips, you can create some nice pages in the content library, and the pupils know to go there to get that content. Okay, if you want to share just some PowerPoints and just some big PDF notes, handouts, for example, I would suggest putting those in the files section within the Teams environment. Okay, obviously within Teams, on each channel, you do have a section for adding files, and that's great. You can upload past papers, you can upload actual, big PowerPoints, etc. into that files area. But if you want to create nice pages full of resources which are easy to view, then I would suggest doing that on this class notebook, either in the content library and letting the pupils go in and copy those pages when they need them, or in distributing those pages out. So hopefully that's given you what you need to get up and running using class notebooks. Be sure to check out all my team's quick tip videos on my channel for more help and support. For now though, I hope that was useful, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon. See you next time.